on Sports Central tonight. Momentum remains. Great defensive bowling led by skipper Dunit Velalage helped Sri Lanka A team to record their second consecutive win at the 2025 Asia Cup Rising Stars, defeating Bangladesh A in match number 12 at Doha.
Delivers a super over. 18 runs needed, only 11 were scored. In the end, Sri Lanka winning it by 6 runs, led by Dunit Velalage. With this
series sailed. Skipper Shea Hope's brilliant century goes in vain as New Zealand showcased some fiery batting with the openers laying a great foundation and Captain Sardner finishing it to seal the 3-match series 2-0.
It's a boundary for victory, although it's trying to hold up. It does hold up. They're going to have to run it. One was enough. Victory for New Zealand, and with it an 11th straight bilateral.
Ashes begin. The Ashes 2025-26 kicks off tomorrow at Optus Stadium in Perth, with Australia giving the baggy green to 2 new talents, while Mark Wood makes a return to the England side, strengthening the pace attack.
The Ashes is the pinnacle, I suppose, for an Australian or an English cricketer. So, we're super excited to get the series started. As we said before, the first 3 days are sold out, which is outstanding. And
we've obviously come here with the goal, and that goal is to get on that plane mid-January, returning to England, being Ashes winners.
And big places. Tennis icon Roger Federer is set to become the first member of the Big Three of tennis to be inducted into the International Tennis Hall of Fame.
From Studio 24C, this is Sports Central. And now, here's Vinut Varnasuriya.
Hello and welcome to Sports Central on Other Derana News Channel. Well, tonight we have a plenty of updates coming from the world of sports. So let's dive right in with the updates coming from the Asia Cup Rising Stars 2025 in Qatar. Some great defensive bowling led by skipper Dunit Velalage helped Sri Lanka A team to record their second consecutive win at the 2025 Asia Cup Rising Stars, defeating Bangladesh A in the match number 12 at Doha.
yes, we're all set.
Batting first, Sri Lanka's scorecard did not look fruitful like in the previous game, as the top order could not contribute much from the start. The openers and the number 3 and 4 batters all fell within a short span, and at one stage Sri Lanka were on 51 runs, losing 5 wickets. Batters in form like Nishan Madushka and Nuanindu Fernando could not find their way yesterday, as Madushka fell for 9 and Fernando departed for 15 runs.
High the strikes. Wide-ish bottom hand. What a catch! That's much better. What a delivery. A dream.
But then it was Sahan Arachige who stood up for the Sri Lankan innings, scoring a much-needed half-century and steering the total to a decent number. Arachige scored 69 runs off 49 deliveries with 5 boundaries and 3 maximums in it. He was joined by skipper Dunit Velalage from the bottom, and the two put up a stand of 50 runs, which helped Sri Lanka gather 159 runs at the end, way ahead of what Bangladesh had in mind.
Finds the gap. Behind square. That's a good shot. Making use of the pace what Mehrab offered.
What a shot! What a shot! On the legs!
Perfect Yorker. Runs the first one hard. And Ratnayaka has been sent back. And a very good finish by Ripon Mondal.
Chasing 160, which is a challenging target in a 20-over game, Bangladesh's top order did not make the mistake of collapsing, as most of the batters gave a decent contribution. Even though regular wickets did fall, every batter was able to reach double figures, with the most passing the 20-run mark.
Fetch that!
But taking the ball into hand, skipper Dunit Velalage led from the front, being very economical throughout his 4-over, conceding just 19 runs and picking up 3 wickets. Bangladesh did not lose many wickets, but at the end they started to lose some regularly and could not keep up with the required run rate, which resulted in them only scoring 153 at the end of their 20 overs. With this win, Sri Lanka climbs up to the second spot in the group table, just below table toppers Bangladesh.
Delivers a super over. 18 runs needed, only 11 were scored. In the end, Sri Lanka winning it by 6 runs, led by Dunit Velalage with this win.
Sri Lanka has been grouped with Australia, Ireland and Japan for the 16th edition of the Under-19 Youth World Cup 2026. The tournament will be held from the 15th of January for the 6th of February in 2026 with the participation of 16 teams. The ICC has announced the fixtures for the tournament to be held in Zimbabwe and Namibia. Tanzania will be making their debut in the competition, which will also see Japan featuring in it for the second time after they last played it in 2020. The 16 teams have been divided into 4 groups of 4 teams each. Following the round-robin group stage, the top 3 teams from each group will progress to the Super 6 phase, where they will be split into 2 groups of 6 each. The top 3 teams from groups A and D after the single round-robin pool stage will be put together in the Super 6 stage, while the second group will feature the teams qualifying from groups B and C. The top 2 teams from Super 6 group will then move to the semi-finals, culminating into the final, and the reserve days have been allocated for all 3 knockout matches. Australia, who beat India in the 2024 final, are the defending champions of this tournament. Kandy Under-15 defeated Dambulla Under-15 by 64 runs in another Under-15 Sri Lanka Youth League cricket encounter in Colombo today. This was Dambulla side's second consecutive defeat. Yesterday, they lost to Colombo North by 8 runs. The Under-15 Youth League encounter between Dambulla and Kandy was played at the Thurston College ground in Colombo. Batting first, Kandy Under-15 team scored 129 runs before being bowled out in the 39th over. Savitha Vithanage was the top scorer with 27 runs. Sanuru Anuhas made 18. Yuma Legorage was the pick of the Dambulla bowlers with 5 wickets for 30 runs. Pabasara Vanasinghe bagged 2 wickets. In reply, Dambulla were bowled out for just 65 runs in 21.5 overs. Only 3 Dambulla batters were able to reach double figures, and Shatara Dinwan was the chief destroyer for Kandy, capturing 5 wickets for just 8 runs in his 6 overs. Tinuka Rajapaksha bagged 3 wickets for 20 runs. Meanwhile, Under-15 Sri Lanka Youth League encounter between Galle and Colombo North was played at the Mercantile Cricket Association grounds in Colombo. Here, the Colombo North side won the toss and opted to have a field first.
In this Under-15 Sri Lanka Youth League encounter, Galle won by 65 runs. Galle Under-15, after being asked to bat first, totaled 212 for 8 in their allotted 50 overs. Linuvara Sathvindu was the top scorer with 38 not out. Mohammad Shihab made 35 and his knock included 2 fours and 3 sixes. Abdul Rahman was the pick of the Colombo North bowlers, picking up 3 for 17 in 9 overs. Desinda Dinsara bagged 2 for 43. In reply, Colombo North scored 147 for 9 in their allotted 50 overs. Janadeepa Okash made 27 while Chetina Kavindu contributed with 24 runs. In bowling for Galle, Gesanda Bisas and Hiruk Akalanka bagged 2 wickets each.
Sri Lanka Rugby has appointed 3 trustees at the recently held special general meeting following an unanimous decision. The 3 trustees are WDMJ Gunathilaka, Nalin De Silva and Cicero De Fonseca. Sri Lanka Rugby says the appointment of trustees is aimed at strengthening governance and promoting the growth of rugby across the country. The trustees are expected to play a crucial role in guiding the organisation's future development, ensuring effective governance, supportive initiatives and inspire rugby enthusiasts and nurturing of young talent. The boys' finals of the Under-14 and Under-16 categories in Hardcourt Tennis Championship got underway today in Colombo. Sri Lanka Tennis Association is conducting this competition.
The finals of 2 age categories of the 2025 Hardcourt Tennis Championship were held at the SLTA courts in Greenpath, Colombo today. In the boys Under-14 category, Buvindu Jayawardena of Maliyadeva College, Kurunegala won the championship title. He outclassed Nuren Vevita with some fine displays of tennis. Jayawardena won the encounter 6-3, 6-2. Meanwhile, in the boys Under-16 final, Aisling De Silva of St. Peter's College, Bambalapitiya beat Mayuran Kuberan convincingly. However, Mayuran was able to give a good fight to his more experienced opponent in the first set. But eventually, Aisling bagged the championship title in the Under-16 age category, beating Mayuran 6-4, 6-1.
We're heading into a short commercial break. More sporting highlights coming right after this. You're watching Sports Central right here on Other Derana News Channel. Welcome back to Sports Central right here on Other Derana News Channel. We are moving to the West Indies tour of New Zealand now. Another New Zealand-West Indies game, another last over finish and another heartbreak for the West Indies. It was going the Caribbean way after a cameo by skipper Shai Hope with the bat, but New Zealand never gave up with Devon Conway and Mitch Santner doing it for the Kiwis, eventually winning the second ODI in the series by 5 wickets. The match was reduced to 34 overs aside, and batting first Windies lost their first wicket in the 6th over when Kyle Jamieson departed John Campbell for just 4 runs. Casey Carty followed 4 overs after as Jamieson strike back and West Indies were 38 for the loss of 2 wickets. Aki Moggies contributed 22 from the top, but it was captain Shai Hope who took the responsibility onto his shoulders and went on to score a wonderful century which came off just 69 balls. He hit 15 boundaries and 4 sixes and was unbeaten on 109 runs at the end.
Onto it, Shai Hope. Hope goes for it, he's got it. That's going to be triple figures for the very first time against New Zealand. Shai Hope completes the set. A century.
He was not supported by any batters from the other end as regular wickets fell, but latter middle order and bottom did give him much needed stability with Romario Shepherd and Matthew Ford along with Justin Greaves scoring all 20s. With that, Windies gathered a good total of 247 in just 34 overs, losing 9 wickets.
Climbs into that again, short boundary square, and that's gone again too.
With the Windies hoping they would have this game, the home team never looked back for a minute as the two openers Devon Conway and Rachin Ravindra gave a nightmare for the visitors since the beginning of the chase. The two put up an opening stand of 106 runs with Conway going up to 90 and Ravindra scoring 56.
Not a bad way to bring up 50.
Windies did get a breakthrough when Bill Young was dismissed, followed by Mark Chapman for a duck. But experienced Tom Latham and skipper Mitchell Santner composed themselves in the middle and made sure they finished the job for the Kiwis. Latham scored 39 while Santner scored 34 off just 15 bowls. In the final over, New Zealand reached the target with 3 balls to spare and sealed the 3-match ODI series 2-0.
For victory, although it's trying to hold up, it does hold up. They're going to have to run it. One was enough. Victory for New Zealand, and with it an 11th straight bilateral series winner.
The Ashes 2025-26 begins tomorrow at Perth, and both England and Australia have announced their squad for the first test, which will run until the 25th of this month. Here's a preview. Opening batter Jake Weatherald and pace bowler Brendan Doggett will make their debuts for Australia in the first Ashes tomorrow at Perth. The first time since January 2019, the 2 new baggy green caps have been handed out before a single test. Steve Smith, standing in as captain for injured Pat Cummins, named the team in his eve of the match press conference at Perth Stadium yesterday, ending months of speculation about the opening partnership. Weatherall's inclusion to open the batting with Usman Khawaja combined with Cameron Green's recovery from injury meant no place in the team for 7th-test all-rounder Beau Webster. Manus Labuschagne, who has been asked to make shift opener, will bat at his favoured number 3 position ahead of Smith and Travis Head.
Yeah, injuries happen in sport, particularly in cricket with fast bowlers. They put a lot of stress through their bodies. So, yeah, unfortunate obviously that those 2 are out, but I think an exciting opportunity for Scotty and for Brendan Doggett, who's going to make his debut. He's been selected for his performances over the last 18 months in particular. He's batted exceptionally well up the top of the order for Tasmania, and hopefully he can bring that to the test arena. I'm really excited for him. He's worked hard for a long period of time, and I think he's going to complement Uzi pretty well up top. The Ashes is the pinnacle, I suppose, for an Australian or an English cricketer. So, we're super excited to get the series started. As we said before, the first 3 days are sold out, which is outstanding, and I'm sure there's going to be plenty of viewers on TV, both here and back in England as well. So hopefully we can put on a really good show and entertain plenty of people.
Meanwhile, England have named fast bowler Mark Wood in a 12-man squad for the first Ashes test against Australia, raising the prospect of an all-seam frontline attack in Perth. Wood has been given the all-clear after suffering a tight hamstring on day 1 of the England's sole warm-up against the Lions last week and bowled at impressive speeds in the nets Tuesday. The 35-year-old, perhaps in the line for his first test appearance since August 2024, is joined by an enlarged group by fellow quick Jofra Archer, Braden Cars, Gus Atkinson and captain Ben Stokes, with Shoaib Bashir a spin option. With the pitch at Optus Stadium expected to be lively, England may be tempted to go all-out pace.
The record of England, over the history of Ashes series in Australia isn't the best, but we've got an opportunity here over the next 2.5 months to sort of write our own history. We've obviously come here with the goal, and that goal is to get on that plane mid-January returning to England, being Ashes winners. But we know it's going to be very, very tough. It's going to be hard because, beating Australia in Australia is not an easy thing. It's been a big build-up, as always. Every Ashes series is, whether it's in England or Australia. But yeah, it's great. Something that when you're a kid, you look at and go, "Oh, I'd love to be there one day." So yeah, now we're here on day before, day one of what's going to be a pretty tough and grueling 2.5 months.
Cadillac Formula One team boss Graham Loden says Formula One's newest team will set out clear targets for their debut next season, focusing on execution and development rather than headline results.
Speaking about his expectations, the team principal said it was impossible to set realistic championship targets before seeing how Cadillac's car compared with rivals. Loden told reporters at the Las Vegas Grand Prix that next year it's impossible at the moment to predict anything championship-wise and absolutely nobody knows where they're going to be next year. Loden said Cadillac F1 would focus on factors within its control in year one, such as operational discipline and how much performance it can extract from the car it has designed. He also said they've got obvious targets for next year, that they have everything ready. He added that they'll be measuring all things that they're in control of and how they execute those, and that's the key thing for next year. Backed by resources of General Motors, Loden said the project was structured to compete at Formula One's cost cap and grow quickly, rather than settling for a long-term role at the back of the grid. Cadillac will join the Formula One grid as the 11th team in 2026 with Sergio Perez and Valtteri Bottas as their drivers. Cadillac will be the second US flag team on the grid next season alongside Haas.
We are heading into another short commercial break. More sporting highlights coming right after this. Stay tuned. You're watching Sports Central on Other Derana News Channel. Welcome back to Sports Central right here on Other News Channel. We are moving to the Davis Cup now. Host Italy stayed on course for a three-peat Davis Cup with convincing victory over Austria and Bologna yesterday to set up a semi-final clash against Belgium. Even without the top players like Yannick Sinner and Lorenzo Musetti, the Italians were way too strong in the front of partisan crowd with single wins for Matteo Berrettini and Flavio Cobolli.
Former Wimbledon runner-up Berrettini was first up in the super tennis arena against Juriš Rodionov, and after running into trouble in the second set, he won 6-3, 7-6. And inspired Cobolli, Italy's number one for the week, then thrashed Filip Misolic 6-1, 6-3 to complete the job. Berrettini won all 6 of his Davis Cup matches for Italy in 2024 as they defended their title, and captain Filippo Vordari kept faith with a big server yesterday. It was comfortable enough for Berrettini in the first set, which he sealed with an ace. A fault with the lighting inside the arena caused a stoppage in the second set, and when play resumed, it was Rodionov who clicked into gear first to break serve for the first time. A double fault by Rodionov handed Berrettini the initiative in the tie-break, and the Italian brought up a match point with a reflex volley before a big serve finished it. While the first match was a contest, the second was a procession as Cobolli needed just over an hour to send Italy into the semi-finals on Friday. Belgium, seeking to win the competition for the first time, booked their place in the semi-finals with a 2-0 victory over France on Tuesday. The final 8 continues on Thursday with Spain up against the Czech Republic and Argentina facing Germany.
Meanwhile, Roger Federer will become the first member of the Big Three of tennis to be inducted into the International Tennis Hall of Fame. Federer, who is 44 years now, retired in 2022, having won 103 ATP level titles, second only to Jimmy Connors during the Open era.
The Swiss great was the first man to win the 20 Grand Slam singles title, a total since surpassed by Big Three rivals Novak Djokovic and Rafael Nadal. Federer, one of only 8 men to achieve a career Grand Slam, received the news at Swiss Tennis, where he played in his youth, as he was welcomed by some of the current 270 Hall of Fame members in a video call. Federer said that it was a tremendous honor to be inducted into an International Tennis Hall of Fame and to stand alongside so many of the game's great champions. He added that throughout his career, he had always valued the history of tennis and the example set by those who came before him. He further stated that being recognized in this way by the sport and by his peers was deeply humbling, and that he looked forward to visiting Newport next August to celebrate this special moment with the tennis community. Federer will be inducted over the weekend of 27 to 29 August next year, when ceremonies will take place in Newport, Rhode Island in the United States. Among his 20 major triumphs, Federer won a record 8 men's singles titles at Wimbledon. He held the world #1 ranking for a total of 310 weeks, including a record 237 consecutive weeks.
Bring the knowing, it's a China work is up. That's good. Cool. Thanks. Look at them all. Hey, I had to
Moving to NBA updates now, LeBron James became the first player to take part in 23 consecutive NBA seasons when he stepped onto the court for Los Angeles Lakers on Tuesday. The 40-year-old, who missed his side's opening 14 games of the season because of sciatica, contributed 11 points, 12 assists and 3 rebounds in 30 minutes of a 140-126 home win over the Utah Jazz. James, the NBA's record scorer, overtook Vince Carter's mark of having played in 22 successive NBA seasons, while his 2 3-pointers also moved him above Reggie Miller into the 6th place in NBA's all-time list of most 3-pointers made. Lakers teammate Luka Doncic said that it had been a long time since he had played basketball, so he thought that for the first game back he had looked amazing. He added that was going to keep getting his rhythm and help the team a lot. Doncic had a game-high 37 points and 4 steals in the win against Jazz, and he also contributed 10 assists and 5 rebounds. Austin Reeves scored 26 points for the Lakers as well, while Keontae George and Lauri Markkanen scored 34 and 31 points respectively for Utah. The win put Lakers 4th in the Western Conference, with the Jazz in 10th place. And with that, we wrap up today's edition of Other Derana Sports Central on Other Derana News channel. Well, we value your feedback, so don't forget to send it via email at feedback.adnsenglish@derana.lk or via WhatsApp at 07680577933. Preetika Sivakumar will join you next on World News Tonight. Have a very good night.